it's very imperative that what this queen said, your feelings are valid. Now, that doesn't mean you're governed by them and you move in them.
No.
Right.
That means you find in your dealing, leading to healing spot, a place in you that you can boldly hold that mirror up to yourself, and get past that moment in your life. You know, like that. So if you're not doing that shit before you dating, what's your intention behind dating? You know, or if we just kicking it, if I got a party to go to, pull up with me, but all that extra stuff that comes with it, I clearly communicate. I don't need your vagina. I don't need your money. All this up front, everything that everybody just come in and leave with. I don't leave with that. You know what I'm saying? Because I see how destructive it is, and that's real. I'm telling the God honest truth. And that's how you preserve yourself, though. It don't mean that you don't want to knock something down. It don't mean none of that. But it just means that before you engage in exchange more energy with something that you haven't healed from, they say that if you bring that baggage this way, right, then you're a polygamist, right? You're bringing this old bullshit into new shit. Now you just polyed up around this. Which, hey, if you poly, I ain't knocking it between you and the women and the men and all that shit. But because I'm not no judgmental cat, But I'm saying for emotionally wise, being a polygamist is terrible because you're all over the place. Does that make sense?
Yeah, it does.
Yeah, so
men ain't good at multitasking.
We're waffles. We're compartmentalized. You're right. We can move the rock. You know what I'm saying?
But we can't multitask. Like, wait a minute. What do we do all that time?
That's true, man. Like, that's like dating based on what we're talking about. Dating. I date based on these, understanding what we got going intention.
And then on top of that, it's also a time for mourning.
Yes.
You have to mourn the loss of love. And I tell people all the time, I said, love you don't really stop. You really don't love somebody, but you stop being in love. So you stop seeing the greatness in it and you start seeing the action.
Yeah.
That's good.
Yeah. And so you have to also go through a time of mourning. And you have to mourn what you lost. And I look at it as a true loss, but as a learning experience. Like, and you have to, I tell people all the time, once you go through that phase and you break up, and I had the experience myself, I had to mourn. So I don't know when my mourning time period will be over. I don't even really know if I'm truly out of it now because I've never really buried my feelings. I always make sure, I always do to the point where I don't really bury things because I feel like if you bury them, they always resurface and then you forget who you are because you buried that feeling. I always can go back to that moment to make me sad, to remind me of what I came from or where I came from. So I could say that after a relationship, you do need time to mourn. And I tell my friends like, oh, I want to go start dating. I'm like, well, babe, have you mourned?
Yeah.
Have you sat down and just truly cried and mourned over your loss?
Yeah.
Or what just exited out your life.
Right.
So mourning is important.
Especially in divorces, man. They're like deaths, It's
I think it was a death.
Okay.
Only because I experienced it. I experienced a death and I experienced a divorce.
Okay.
And for me, they're two
But
different.
when you lost your love of your spouse, it still was a love lost. It might not be the love of a parent, but you still had to mourn the love of your spouse.
Can I ask you what was the one significant difference in this situation? And we know we're talking to you like TLC is a thug, y'all. She just is like she's tough. You touch my thigh, you're gone, right? But what's the difference?
One is
though?
permanent and one isn't.
One is permanent, one isn't.
Yeah. That's exactly what it is.
Because
you can always recover. Like I recovered from my divorce. If you choose to. But it's a mindset. It's a mental thing.
You're right.
Yeah.
Now, as it pertains to men, especially it's like relationships are like investments, right?
Yeah.
Even if you equate to like the stock market, right?
Of course.
Say you bet big, you put it all, on AMC, right?
Right.
You're always going to jump, but then all of a sudden, the stock market's crash. Everything you got, man. So
totally agree.
you that's because a man is a provider, and a protector, and a professor, right?
Mm-hmm.
So you can get it back, but man, like that initial blow of losing, something that if you real about it and you invested into it, man, that shit hurt. It doesn't mean that you can't get it back tenfold. But initially, the responsibility, the pride, the ego, all these things that a man puts into a relationship, it's down. It hurts.
I'll fight with a man's ego because I actually literally asked somebody. I said, "Would you?" Because he asked me, he said, "Would you go back to school?" I said, "Well, if I can make $1 million without me going back to school, and he wants to go to school," I said, "Would you want to be a lawyer?" He was like, "Yeah, I want to go back to school, but I got all this stuff I got to do." I said, "Well, would you be okay with that if I have it, you quitting what you're doing, and me support us? Would that sit right with your ego? And you go to school, and I support us." I said, "Can." Because that male ego sometimes bothers me.
It should.
Because it was like, why do you feel you can be the only supporter in his household? I was like, I would support you. I was like, if you want to go back to school and I have it, boo. Like I said, but would your ego? Because I've had a relationship that ended over a man's ego because he was like, I couldn't do for you, and I felt guilty, and I couldn't do and provide. I'm like, but I got this as a strong woman that I believed in myself.
Right.
I already know I got this, but I need you to believe in me too.
Right.
If I believe in me, I need you to drop your ego and believe in me too. Because I'm going to hold us down because I care that much. Not only do I care that much for myself first, I care that much for you second, and I care that much for us third.
Yeah.
And because of that, believe in me. Could you drop that male ego of I'm a provider, I'm a this? Could I be the provider? Can I be the one that come home and be like, hey, babe, how was your day? How was school? Can I be that for you so that you can grow? Because I know that would you feel like you lost yourself as a man?
Speaking in somebody that was in that situation,
yeah,
meaning that tried to start a business, and the person I was with at that particular time was the sole provider.
Mm-hmm.
At some point in time, though, as a man, and his ego is different, but at the same time, women have egos just like men. At some point in time, you'll look at him and the test can start to show up because you can't become the breadwinner. Or you feel like he's not doing more than what he's able to do. And so that's the biggest part of the ego. The ego is not necessarily him saying, I got to be the provider. The biggest part of the ego is that even though I'm not providing for you, will you still respect me? Because in reality, that's what it is. That's respect. That's what it is.
Yeah.
That's what it makes it think.
And that's where I come in and say, I want to do that because I believe in that. I believe in you, and I believe that it'll make us greater. So that's where I would step in like, well, hell yeah, I would totally accept that. And wouldn't even come and throw it in your face because I already know what's coming.
Because you're exchanging energy, even at the end of the day. We all have the masculine
and feminine.
Yeah. Of course, yeah.
You know? So you just got to be able to balance it between both partners.
Of course.